कब करते हैं? Over here, you have to follow the law of the land. If the law of the land says you can't marry until you're 18, आपके यहाँ 18 है कि 16 है? 18 है. तो 18 पहले you can't marry. After 18, right? If you're ready and you have the means, then the hadith, Ya ma'ashara shabab, is for you. You have the means. For example, your parents are rich. You have a large house. You have your own bedroom. You can bring your wife. She can share the bedroom with you and then share the house, kitchen, house, etc. That's it. You don't need to have a Mercedes car and your own property, house and all this and that. That's all not necessary, right? So when you're ready, that is the ideal age. How come parents make it difficult for their kids to get married? ये एक शिकायत है. And I'm going to stick up for the kids. I'm going to say, parents, you shouldn't be stopping your kids from marrying a suitable partner when they find one. Try and make marriage easy. आसानी से करा दो. Get them living happily, peacefully, खुशी खुशी, शौक से जिंदगी गुजारना शुरू कर दें. The person should be compatible, suitable. If he's an unsuitable person, then you can object. But if he's suitable, then don't make any barriers between them. How much money does one need to get married? I don't know. This is Canada. I'm from UK. We are simple people. We lead a simple life, right? When I got my son Safwan married, he didn't have anything. Lekin his wife was very nice. She just stayed with us. He stayed in my house. We had a bedroom for 3-4 years. Afterwards, he started working, living separately. So simplicity is the main thing. It's not about how much dosh you have. It's about your simple life. If you can lead a simple life, that's it. Or is it possible to get married and move in together 2 years, after 2+ years? It creates problems. If you just do nikah and you don't do rukhsati, then sometimes there's problems in between and the marriage ends up in divorce. So we would say, follow the sunnah. The sunnah is jat mangni phat riya phat rukhsati. Fatafat, everything. You see the Huzur's life, Sahaba's life, 1400 years of our Islamic culture, right? दोपहर को निकाह हुआ, शाम को रुखसती हुई, next day वलीमा हो गया, खत्म. सादा है, follow the sunnah. वैसे, as for jawaz and permissibility, there's no question about it being permissible. There's no haram. You can do that, but we advise against it. If I'm already in my late 20s, can I marry without happiness of my parents? I would advise against it. Don't go against the wish of your parents. Keep them happy. Keep everything clear. Parents को नाराज करके कोई काम मत करना. Parents को खुश रखो. Keep them happy and earn their du'as, and you will be happy for the rest of your life. Is someone allowed to take your phone without your permission because he feels like it's just to bully you? But first of all, bullying is not allowed. Bullying, if you bully someone, you'll be questioned about it on the day of Qiyamah. Why did you bully him? Right? In whatever way, even if it's just a punch or a pinch, right? Or even if it's something minor, or even if it's mental bullying, abuse, torture, swear, right? So taking someone's phone, hiding it, if it's for a joke, for a few minutes, and then you say, Allah is here, right? Then friends have a light-hearted joke among them. But bullying is not allowed. You should avoid that. Is whipped cream from Tim Hortons halal? According to someone from Canada, it's mashkook. I don't know myself. Go and check the ingredients. Ask Mufti Sahib. Mufti Sahib, is it halal? Mufti Sahib says, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But Mufti Sahib के लिए भी कुर्सी लाओ ना इधर बिठाओ. कुछ सवाल मुफ्ती साहब को जवाब देना पड़ेगा. जाओ, उसको हटाओ भाई. I heard rumors saying that Qiyamul Layl is makruh in Jamaat. Is this true? Okay. You already said it is rumors. So why are you going after rumors? Right? First of all, it's not true. You can't pray Qiyamul Layl in Jamaat. There are some conditions. Some ulama say you can pray Qiyamul Layl in Jamaat if the Jamaat is small. Number two, there's no tada'i, announcement, calling everybody, ana, sab ajana, everybody come, the whole Toronto should come. And other ulama say that no, there's no harm. And you can pray Qiyamul Layl with Jamaat. Our Mufti Shabir Sahib started this in Darul Umbari, and we saw the benefits of it. Hazrat Maulana Rashid Hussain Ahmad Madani, Shaykhul Islam, his Ma'mul, he used to do it. And when times change, ulama also have to change the rulings at times. In this mas'ala, we see people only pray Qiyamul Layl with Jamaat. Individually, nobody is going to pray. Who prays Qiyamul Layl with the whole Quran? So, people get the opportunity to read Qiyamul Layl, Jamaat, whole Quran, they feel really happy. When I came first time to Masjid Abu Bakr 2002, I did Qiyamul Layl. Some people were a little bit hesitant. I just, Bismillah, put my foot down. There was one chacha from Kenya. He used to come every day at Qiyamul Layl. When we finished the Quran, he said, Maulana Sahab, I'm so happy. This is the first time in my life that I have heard the whole Quran in Tahajjud, in Qiyamul Layl. I never heard the Quran in Tahajjud in my life before. So he was so happy, he hugged me. He thanked me. So people don't get the opportunity to listen to the Quran in Qiyamul Layl. And also, number two, this Qiyamul Layl is originally facility for the Mu'takifin. Because in Mu'takifin there are many non-Hafiz. They can't stand for 1.5 hours just reading Qul Huwallah. Right? So when we provide facility for Mu'takifin. Now if non-Mu'takifs also come and join, no problem. They can join in. So there are that. And this ikhtilaf is only in the Hanafi fiqh. Right? In Shafi'i, Maliki, Hanbali fiqh, it's perfectly okay. There's no conditions either. No condition whatsoever. In fact, when I went to Masjid Aqsa, after Fajr, there was Dhikr Majlis. In fact, not only Dhikr Majlis, Milad Sharif Majlis. Oh, Milad Sharif bana rahe the, because it was Rabiul Awwal at that time. And they were reading Qasida Burda and Nasheed and this and that. Kafi went long. And then it was Ishraq time. So Ishraq time, they prayed Ishraq with Jamaat. Now, Sheikh Yusuf said to me, Sheikh Abdul Raheem, he told me to speak for a bit. I spoke for 5-10 minutes. And then he said, Sheikh Abdul Raheem, I know you Hanafis don't pray Ishraq with Jamaat, but today I'm going to make you Shafi'i, you have to lead. So I said, okay, no problem, your hukam. So I had to lead that Ishraq Salat in the Mihrab Maryam. And everybody who was there, we all prayed Salatul Ishraq with Jamaat. 2 rakats and another 2 rakats. So Shafi'i have no problem with it. The Hanafiya put certain conditions, but Qiyamul Layl is totally different matter. There's a reason for it. Even Hanafis will not object on it. Anyway, if someone is always sleeping and can't wake up for Fajr, he is a deep sleeper. How does he wake up easily without needing anyone to wake them up? Okay. First of all, sleep early. Don't stay awake till late. If you stay awake till late, then you will have only caught a little bit of sleep and you won't be able to get up. Right? So sleep early. Don't stay awake till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Sham ko Isha baad fauran. This is the usul. Naha anin nawmi qablaha wal hadithi ba'daha. And number 2, read some du'as before going to sleep. Ask Allah, Allah please wake me up at a certain time. Right? Hazrat Maulana Ashraf Ali Thanvi has mentioned a mujarrab dua. He said, read the last few verses of Suratul Kahf. From Innal Ladina Amanu wa Aminu Salihati Kanat Lahum Jannatul Firdausi Nuzula till the end of Surah. And then ask Allah, Allah wake me up at such and such a time. 5:30. Allah will wake you up. Also read Ayatul Kursi so you get proper sleep, you don't get any nightmares, and you wake up on time. And number 3, don't just put one alarm, have few alarms. Because when you have a few alarms, you'll go put one off and then another one, the third one will wake you up. Now you'll have to get up. Or maybe put alarm at a distance. So you have to get up and walk it to get there and turn it off. Maulana Sahib, ye Cheeto wala question aap keh do. Are Cheetos halal? According to some from Canada, they say it's mashkook. This looks like a British question.
Oh, it's a long answer.
Please. Even take your time. I need to drink some water.
Give him my blue bottle.
La, la, la.
Now, this question regarding Cheetos is based off of the permissibility or the consumption of rennet. This question was asked to Sheikh Amin in Darul Qasim, Chicago. And he has a very detailed paper that I'll try to summarize. We'll go over, it's not too long. But he breaks down the types of cheese and the rennet we get here in North America. So the question was asked basically about cheese. Ask Imam Mufti Ibrahim Desai rahimahullah, he gave permissibility in one of his fatwas, but there was also a fatwa from Pakistan that says it's impermissible. So confusion, so mukhtalaf fi masla. So Sheikh Amin, he answered, he starts by explaining what rennet is. He says, rennet in its original historic form is a complex of enzymes secreted in the fourth stomach of calves, lambs, and goats. These 3, calves, lambs, and goats, generally if slaughtered, they are halal animals to consume. The active component in rennet is renin. Renin is the enzyme that breaks down the proteins found in milk, which are responsible for milk retaining its liquid form. This breaking down of proteins causes the milk to turn hard. It takes a solid form, such as cheese. The original method of harvesting rennet is as follows. This is the original method back in the day, the traditional method. Hydration of dried stomach pieces in whey or salt water, lowering of the pH by adding vinegar, and finally filtering the solution. So early Islamic jurists discussed the concept of rennet and the permissibility of its consumption. The jurists came to a consensus regarding rennet derived from dhabiha, meaning animals slaughtered according to Islamic law. Halal animals slaughtered according to Islamic law. There was a consensus that rennet derived from these are halal to consume. However, the jurists differed on the issue of rennet derived from a lawful animal that is not slaughtered according to the laws of Sharia. This is why we find the ikhtilaf, the question got asked twice, right? Some say it's mashkook because of the ikhtilaf, some say it's jaiz. So he explains the Hanafi jurists declared rennet to be pure in and of itself. However, Imam Abu Yusuf and Imam Muhammad consider rennet to be contaminated. It became impure. When? After death, the death of the animal, by mixing with the liquids in the stomach. This is when an animal isn't slaughtered according to Sharia. This is when it becomes contaminated after death, according to Sahibain Imam Abu Yusuf and Imam Muhammad rahimahullah. Now, therefore, the rennet which comes in contact with these liquids, this is Imam Abu Yusuf and Imam Muhammad. Imam Abu Hanifa states that the liquids which are in the stomach do not become impure upon the death of the animal. Therefore, the rennet which comes in contact with these liquids will remain pure regardless of how the animal was slaughtered. The leading opinion in the madhab is that of Imam Abu Hanifa, that even if it's mixed, it's not impure. Hence, the consumption of rennet is allowed when it is derived from a lawful animal regardless of how the animal was slaughtered. Over the course of history, the process of producing rennet has drastically changed. Modern rennet is now sourced by means of 4 methods: extracted from a calf stomach, microbial rennet, vegetable rennet, or sourced from FPC, fermentation produced Simazin rennet. It is estimated that 95% of cheese consumed in America is produced with genetically modified rennet, meaning method 2, 3, and 4, microbial, vegetable, or FPC. Fermentation, or FPC, is by far the most common form of the rennet we find today, or the enzyme we find today. Approximately 80 to 90% of all cheese is produced with FPC. Now, there was a research that was done by the Wisconsin Center for Dairy Research, concluded that less than 5% of cheese is consumed, or less than 5% of cheese consumed in America is animal derived. Less than 5% of the cheese that's consumed. In other words, approximately 95% of all cheese in the United States is made with non-animal derived rennet. As for the 5% animal-based rennet, we received direct clarification from two of the leading manufacturers and marketers of calf rennet in the US and worldwide. They stated that animal tissues and enzymes are separated and filtered through thousands of liters of water at the time of production. Thus, tissues from the animal stomach are not present in the final rennet product at all. Based on the aforementioned evidence, we find all four sources of rennet, namely FPC, genetically modified based rennet, whether produced by fungi, microbial rennet, or from plants, microbial, and animal-derived rennet, with the exception of porcine rennet, derived from a non-halal animal, a pig. Most rennet is derived from calf, lamb, or goat. There's also a possibility of pig. So pig, all of them except pig are permissible to consume. Enzymes mentioned in ingredients labels are derived from one of the four sources of rennet and consequently are permissible halal. Very rarely, rennet derived from pig is used in the cheese making process. Thus, if one comes to know of pig-derived rennet used in a specific product, only then that product will be impermissible to consume. This is just a quick summary of what Sheikh Amin and his team at Dar al-Qasim concluded with their research on rennet. Now, Cheetos, if you go on the Frito-Lay Canada website, you can search Frito-Lay products made with porcine-free rennet. They have a whole category of products that they offer that are porcine-free. Now, depending on the type of Cheetos, those Cheetos are there on the porcine-free products. So if you are content with the fatwa of Sheikh Amin, that would mean it's permissible to consume. Those who say it's mashkuk is because of the opinion of Imam Abu Yusuf and Imam Muhammad that after death it becomes contaminated, but the research show even then everything's separated. It goes through a process where it's all separated. So before eating any chips, if you're going to follow the fatwa of Sheikh Amin, just go search this, even in America. Frito-Lay USA porcine-free products, Frito-Lay Canada porcine-free products. You'll see all of the products that the rennet is derived from something other than porcine rennet.
चलो भाई, हर सवाल का इतना लंबा जवाब देंगे तो फजर हो जाएगी.
Very detailed.
बिल्कुल, माशाअल्लाह, जज़ाकल्लाह. That was beautiful answer. So it looks like Cheetos must be halal. Let's go and check it. कि protein नहीं होना चाहिए. If it's other than protein, eat it. But if you want taqwa and you want to avoid it, it's up to you. Jaldi jaldi, how can you maintain alim class and school balance, and can you take one over the other? No, do both. Try your best. Prioritize your akhirat over your dunya. Short answer. If someone masturbates while fasting, does this break the fast? If yes, do they have to give kafara? Yes and no. Yes, it breaks the fast and you have to keep qaza of that fast. But no, you don't need to give kafara because there's reason behind it. Chalo. If you put a drop of zamzam in water, then is all of it classed as zamzam? No. One drop can't make the whole bucket zamzam. Right? If you mix non-zamzam with zamzam, then the ghalib, the most overpowering will be considered. If zamzam is 60, 70, 80%, then all of it is zamzam. But if Zamzam is only 20-30% and most is normal water, then is normal water is not Zamzam. So aghlab ka i'tibar hoga. How can someone protect themselves from watching pornography? Listen to Dr. Zakaria Saab's talk. He touched on that subject and why it's bad and how you have to try your best and give it up. हमारा भी एक बयान है इसके ऊपर. मैंने कुछ साल पहले यहाँ बयान किया था, क्या वो जेंडर फ्लूइडिटी वाला है, वो है बयान, और लियाना नहीं यार, वो बयान तो मुझे भी बहुत अच्छा लगा था. मैंने खुद भी सुना था उस बयान को बाद में. मैं कहा मुझे नहीं पता था, मैं भी इतना अच्छा बयान करता हूँ. तो वो जो बयान था उसमें मैंने ये सब समझाया है. Anyway, in a summary, if you want to protect yourself from watching porn, number one, fast. Roza rakho, continuously every day, and proper roza, not just change of times of eating. Roza like Dr. Zakaria Saab's roza. उनकी सहरी भी बहुत छोट मुख्तसर, इफ्तार भी बहुत मुख्तसर. तो ऐसा रोज़ा रखो कि उसमें you feel a bit of hunger and you'll bring yourself under control. Number two, read some material with regards to it and listen to some discourses about it. Munasab, you add something to it?
Sorry, I zoned out.
Okay. Yeah, you know, read some statistics about it. Okay, I mentioned in my bayan somewhere that there was this article, Vancouver's one Muslim researcher, he researched all the websites and all this industry, and he wrote a beautiful article. I tried to find it again, I couldn't find it. He said if someone has this habit, the cure is in hadith. A man comes to Prophet ﷺ, Sahabas are sitting, he says there, allow me to do zina because I like doing zina. And Sahabas say, what are you doing? I was like, no. He asked the question, leave him, come here. Said, would you like someone to do zina with your mother, with your daughter, with your sister, with your auntie? Oh, of course not, of course not, of course not. I would be furious. Well, the person with whom you do zina, they will either be the mother of someone or the daughter of someone or sister of someone or auntie of someone. They wouldn't like it. Yeah, you're right. I never thought of that. Then Huzur said to him, come closer. And he patted on his chest and he said, Allahumma hassin farjahu wa tahhir qalbahu. Protect his private part and cleanse his heart. And he left. After that, he never got the thought of zina at all. Do that same ilaj for pornography. When you like watching someone there, think if that was your mother or your daughter or your sister or your auntie, would you like it? If someone next door neighbor, he was, looking at your mother's nude photos and nude videos, would you like it? You wouldn't. So why, that person whom although they might be revealing their bodies, but their families don't like it. They don't. If someone goes in the porn industry, the family disown them. Oh, this is filth, dirt. We don't want you. We don't want your money. We have nothing to do with you. So you think about, that people don't like it. Why should you watch that? And then make dua for yourself. Go to a sheikh and tell them to make this dua for you. And their tawajjuh, attention, will help you. So this is the ilaj, short ilaj. Can you want to end anything like that? What's up?
No.
Okay. What's the next question? What's the best way to dispose of haram money? बता दो बोल साहब, हराम पैसे को कैसे dispose करें?
Sadaqah without intention of
It's a burden. You think of the best way to offload it. Give it to extreme poor, destitute people who have nothing. It's not sadaqah. You won't get sawab of giving sadaqah. You have to just offload it and think that why did I get this haram money? Whether it was stolen or it was interest money or gambling money or whatever. If you can't give it out straight away, filter it out. Use it in some halal business and slowly give away that amount to poor people and take it out. But don't use it for yourself. If someone has 10,000 haram money and 11,000 halal money, can they join them together and say, Lil Aksari Hukmul Kul? My friend, what a question. Use your brains, yaar. Al halalu bayyin wal haramu bayyin. Halal is clear, haram is clear. By mixing them, you don't make it all halal. Get rid of that haram money. If an employer doesn't pay an employee and the employee then leaves the work, is it a debt on the employer to find the employee and pay? And will he be punished for this? Yes, you've said it all. I don't need to say more. Right? It's a debt. They have to pay it. If they don't, they will be questioned on the day of Qiyamah. You know that hadith of the ghar, the boulder fell and blocked the entrance. What did the third person say about the laborer? And when he came, he gave him everything, all the goods, and Allah opened the way for them. If someone has over 1,000 days of qaza salah, how can one make for it and what is the best way? First of all, they only have to do qaza of the faras, not the sunnats. And they can keep it short. They don't need to read long surahs. They can maybe suffice with one tasbih in ruku sajda. Someone has asked this question as well. How do we make it qaza? Then what you have to do is estimate the amount, and every time you read your qaza, you say, this is my first fajr, this is my first zuhr, first asr, first maghrib, first isha, first witr. 20 rakats qaza you need to do, including witr, wajib. And when that is done, then the next days will become the first. When that's done, the next will become first, the next will become first. So just keep making intention of the first, keep it short, and do it as soon as possible. 1,000 days is roughly over 3 years, not much. We had one chacha who was 70 plus years, and he had lifelong qaza. I mentioned something about qaza-e-umri in Zakaria Masjid, and he started doing his qaza. He started reading 150, 60 rakats a day, and he took it up to 300 rakats a day. His wife said, "Bas karo, mari jao." No, he would get up in the morning, early, and then he would do wuzu, and he's on the musalla. And after 2-3 years, he came to my house to give me the good news. Knock, knock. Marsab, I just come to give you good news. Mari akhi life, zindagi nahi baddi qaza chahiye. I must have prayed more, but not less. So, where there's a will, there's a way. Is it halal to scam people? Allah, कोई सवाल है? अक्कल से के नहीं. How can you scam people? How can you cheat people, fraud people? ये तो सवाल नहीं है. You know, you're trying to put us in trouble. So you can say halal and you can put me in trouble. Nauzubillah. You see, ये सवाल, ऐसा सवाल नहीं पूछना चाहिए. काम का सवाल पूछना चाहिए. Is it allowed to put perfume in Evian water and sell it? I don't understand the question. ये क्या है?
Like fake perfume? Oh, are you like claiming you sell fake perfume?
Okay, ये मुझे समझ नहीं पड़ी. How can you use Evian water and mix perfume in there? If it's a process and it's needed, तो उसमें तो process में तो सब होता है procession में तो अब तुम जानो. But main thing is don't cheat anyone, don't trick anyone, don't deceive anyone, right? Do it with good heart, good intention. Is it true that you lose knowledge if you sit in the teacher's place or patla? This is be'adabi. It is possible. If you keep doing it, then due to your disrespect, you could lose your ilm. Or at the least thing will be you won't benefit from your ilm. Right? You end up doing some other job, but you won't be able to teach and pass on that ilm to others. Is it allowed to watch Turkish series Ertugrul Salahuddin? It's not right. There's music in there. There's women in there. Be careful. Somebody is asking if you break a fast intentionally in Ramzan and make intention of qaza for the day after, which is also a faraz roza. Will it count as both qaza and faraz fast as done or just one of them? Just one of them, right? It will only be that day's roza, not the qaza. You'll have to give qaza after Ramzan. Where does keeping finger up in tashahud come from in the Hanafi mazhab? And what is the ruling on it? You know, in tashahud, ashhadu an la ilaha, if you want to keep your finger up, it's allowed. Hazrat Maulana Rashid Ahmad Gangohi used to keep it up. Our Hazrat used to keep it up as well. In Maliki mazhab, there's tahriqul isba, moving. But Hanafi Rajih mazhab, most common is you lift it up, ashhadu an la ilaha, and then put it down, illallahu. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallahu. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. So practice on the most common opinion of the mazhab. If the Imam has said takbir to stand up from sajda, yet he has not folded his hands yet. If the muqtadi folds his hand before the Imam, is it okay? Kyun Maulana Sahab?
Yeah, just wait for the Imam.
Yeah, it's okay, namaz won't be fasid, but you shouldn't do that deliberately and continuously. Because hadith mein mumana'at hai, you should not rush ahead of the Imam. Imam should be followed. You should do things, going to ruku, going to sujda, lifting your head up. You should do everything after the Imam, not before the Imam. Is this the same for all positions of salah too? Yes. Is water flossing allowed in roza? What's that? Water flossing?
It's a method of flossing where they just spray water between the teeth.
Is it allowed?
As long as water doesn't go into the gastrointestinal tract.
As long as water doesn't go into the, whatever Maulana Sahib said, short his throat. Whatever it doesn't go into the throat, you're allowed. Right? But if it goes down your throat, your roza is gone. So avoid water floss. Do it after iftar. Why do it during roza? In today's world, people use their phones constantly, often in unsanitary places or when they are not in the state of purity. Is this okay? Dr. Goga Sahib talked about it. People take their phones in the toilet and they can't defecate without the phone. Oh, तेरी इस्तिंजा ही नहीं निकल रहा है फोन के बगैर. ऐसे भी पागल हैं दुनिया में. मैंने तो फर्स्ट टाइम सुना है ऐसा. अल्लाह ही करम करे, खैर करे. This is the change in society. Allah. I don't know where society is going to end up. Right? It's B.H.B. bhai. You know, you should, when you go in istinja, you should read the dua, Bismillahi, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-khubusi wal-khaba'is. By taking your phone and watching video whilst you are doing your business, you're taking shaitan with you. Rather than reading the dua, you're taking shaitan with you in there, the video is on. So be disrespectful. Listen to Dr. Sahab's talk. Is there any wazifa to see the Prophet ﷺ in dream? Nice question. हमने मौलाना साहब ने तलाश किया वो हज़रत शेख की फ़ज़ाइल दुरूद शरीफ में सखावी के हवाले से जुमा की रात शब जुमा में ये दुरूद शरीफ ताक अदद में पढ़े खूब कसरत से अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला सय्यिदिना मुहम्मदिन कमा अमरत अन नुसल्ली अलैहि व युसल्ला अलैहि अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला सय्यिदिना मुहम्मदिन कमा हुवा अहलुहु अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मदिन कमा तुहिब्बु अन युसल्ला अलैहि कमा तुहिब्बु व तर्ज़ा. इसको पढ़ता पढ़ता सो जाए इंशाअल्लाह. और उसके साथ अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला रूहि मुहम्मदिन वाला दुरूद भी मिला ले. नंबर 1. नंबर 2, शेख अब्दुल हक मुहद्दिस दहलवी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह मेंशन on Friday night, which is tonight. आज Friday night है ना. Read 2 rakat salat. In every rakat, read after Surah Fatiha, Ayatul Kursi 11 times and Surah Ikhlas, Qul Huwallahu Ahad 11 times. And then read Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin nabiyyil ummiyyi wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa sallim taslima 100 times. And then go to your bed, put your head on the pillow and keep reading Durood Sharif while you fall asleep. Inshallah, 3 Jummah nights or 5 Jummah nights will not pass and you will see Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is Hazrat Sheikh Abdul Haq Muhaddis Dehlavi's experience. I don't know how to stop being disrespectful to my mother. I always regret it and apologize to her afterwards. I feel remorseful. What do I do? Maulana Sahib, आप दीदी इसका जवाब जितनी देर में पानी पियो.
Sorry, what question?
चलो मैं ही दे देता हूँ. Do khidmat of your mother Massage her feet. Be nice and kind to her. Because we take our mothers for granted. I myself, my mother, when she was alive, I used to go regularly to see her because my younger brother used to live with her and I live in another house. But Monday night, Tuesday night, after my Dars Quran, Dars Hadith, I go. Wednesday night, my parents used to come to my house. Every Wednesday night, they had Awat at my house. And they would wait for Wednesday night. And then Thursday, I'm in Durud Sharif Majlis. Friday, here and there, Dars. But Saturday, Sunday, I try my best to get time out and go there. But now, after she died, I feel I didn't do enough. I should have done more. I was not as good as I should have been with her. So I regret it. When she died, I cried a lot. I just burst into tears. I couldn't control my eyes. Because mother is mother. Ma to ma hai na. And when I think about her, when I used to go to her, I would sit with her for an hour. And then I would say, Ma jam. She would say, Hana behni tu behne jo an hour too. You just come. I said, I've been here for an hour. Lekin, she would say, Na behni, behni. But when I would go, na mummy, gharwa varjues, phone hai wo, I have to go now. So when I would, they would usually also, when I would come down the stairs, she would run after me down the stairs. She would follow me up to my car. अब ये ऐसी शफकत कौन दिखाएगा आज? बूढ़ी माँ है, उसके पाँव में दर्द है, फिर भी वो मेरे पीछे दौड़ती थी, गाड़ी तक आती थी. So where are you going to get that love from? So your mother is your mother, right? If you disrespect her in the past, then think about her in future. Don't do that. बराबर बोल साहब, बोल लो आपको कुछ ऐड करना है.
Spend time with your mother, your parents, and you'll realize that they show themselves as being strong individuals. They raised us. The more time we spend with them, we realize that they tried, they put a lot of effort into raising us. They need us a lot more. Well, not a lot more than we need them, but they need us. Spend time with your parents. You'll realize as they age, right? Naturally, the more time you spend with them, you'll have a soft spot for your parents. The more khidmah you do, right? The more you realize that your parents are human too. We look at them as godlike figures because they raised us, they nurtured us. Once we realize that they're also humans, that emotional connection, it continues to grow, and that grows the respect that we have for our parents, and that will make us respect our parents. We won't realize, once they're gone, we'll realize who they truly are. When something tragic happens to them, they no longer function the way they used to function, is when we'll realize that they've done a lot for us. It's time for us to repay them and reciprocate.
ये बच्चे मेरे पाँव दबाते हैं ना, बहुत अच्छा लगता है. वो हजरत मौलाना रशीद अहमद गंगोही रहमतुल्लाह अलैह को पाँव दबा रहा था, तो एक देहाती आया, कह रहा मौलवी जी तुमको बहुत मजा आ रहा होगा. मौलवी जी, you must be enjoying that massaging of the feet. And Hazrat Gangohi replied, हाँ भाई, अच्छा तो लगता है, लेकिन मैं पाँव दबाने वाले को अपने से कमतर नहीं समझता. I don't think he's inferior than me. He's my friend, he's doing my khidmat, I'm grateful to him. And the dihati said, हाँ फिर तो कोई हरज नहीं, फिर दबाओ. तो पाँव दबाने से बहुत अच्छा लगता है, तो अपनी माँ के पाँव दबाओ. We started an Islamic school, Blackburn. One of my friends, he used to travel from Bolton to Blackburn to take his kid to the Islamic nursery, primary. So one day the kid comes home and he starts pressing his mother's feet. So mother said, what are you doing? And the kid said that my Appa told me that Jannat is under the feet of the mother, and she said today everybody has to press the feet of their mother, so I'm pressing your feet so I can get Jannat. Now if that kid was going to regular government school, would he have learned that? He learned that in Islamic school. This is education, akhlaq. So you should press your mother's feet, and उसमें बहुत फायदा है. The bond and the connection, it increases. आगे चलो. In school there's a lot of fitna. Is there any way to avoid it? We've just covered this before. Taqwa and sabr. Okay, we have a whole bayan on university life. When you start university, what should you do? So I did one bayan. Bartley, they called me in September when schools were starting. तो मैंने उसमें एक हदीस पढ़ी थी, इत्तक़िल्लाह हैसुमा कुन्ता वअत्बि'i सय्यिअतल हसनता तमहुहा व खालिक़िन नास बिखुलुक़िन हसन. I said in university you need these three things. Hold on to these three things, you'll be protected. Are there any signs that Allah has accepted my ibadat and dua? And how do you know? Of course. You know, ulama mashayikh have said, Inna min jaza'il hasanati al hasanatu ba'daha. Among the reward of hasana is that you get tawfiq to follow it with another hasana. If you did a good deed, Allah gives you tawfiq to do more. That means your first good deed was accepted by Allah. You gave them charity and you're giving it again. That means the first charity was accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you get continuous tawfiq of good deeds, that's a sign that your deeds are accepted. Secondly, إِنَّمَا يَتَقَبَّلُ اللَّهُ مِنَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. Allah accepts from muttaqeen. Have a taqwa, muttaqi life, and your deeds will be accepted. And Allah will show you the signs as well. I get angry and raise my voice a lot. How can I solve this? We've said this in the first question, right? Sabr, zikr, dua. If it's severe, then anger management course, control yourself. In ahadith, there are some hidayat, right? For example, one hadith said, if you get really angry and you're standing, then sit down. If you're sitting down, then lie down. In another hadith, if you get really angry, go and do wuzu with cold water. Your anger will go down. In another hadith, if you get really angry, just read Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Read it a few times. Because anger is from shaitan. When you say Auzu billah, Allah will protect you, Allah will give you refuge from shaitan mardud, and your anger will subside. Maulana Sahab, can you go over how to make up the missed rakats? A person missed 3 rakats. Which rakats do we need to pray Surat and which one only Fatiha?
The first two you make up.
Bullion?
The first two you make up would be considered your first and second rakat. So in those two, when you're making up behind the imam, you'd recite Surah Fatiha and a surah, and the third one you won't. Correct?
Okay. But if you miss, let's say you miss 3, you only got 1 rakat in Zuhr, right? Imam says, Assalamu alaikum, you stand up, right? You pray 1 rakat and sit down. At-tahiyyat, then you stand up and pray 2 rakats, that's your 3 salam. With regards to qiraat, you have to do qiraat in the first missed rakat and the second missed rakat, not in the last missed rakat. Can you name your children after angels like Jibril, Mikail, Israfil, Israel? Imam Malik said it's makruh to name boys after the names of Malaika. Jibril, Mikail. Malik to theek hai, Malik to common name hai. Rizwan bhi theek hai, common name hai. Is mushtarak. I am addicted to eating. How can I solve this? I overeat regularly. Listen to Dr. Goga Sahab's bayans. Nafs per control. Control your nafs. Khawana peena, learn where to put the brakes on. Right? Ye kha liya hai, stop. Luqman Hakim alayhi salam said, if you have eaten enough and there is 1 morsel left, then it is better to give that morsel to a dog than put it in your stomach. He's teaching us how to put the brakes on. So it's you who have to learn where to stop and how to put the brakes on. If I get a second wife in another country, can I hide her existence from my first wife? You're too scared, man. You're shitting in your pants. Don't do second wife, it's not for you. वो तो कोई मजबूत आदमी होना चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए. Or keep things clear. However, if you did it and you didn't tell your first wife, then your second nikah will not be fasid. It will be permissible, legal, but don't cheat and don't do this, right? अब खाना तो आ गया है, लेकिन किस्सा सुनाऊंगा. One person in UK, he went Tabligh Jamaat to Morocco, came back after 40 days. Few days later, he said, I'm going for another chilla. Where? Morocco. Few days later, came back, I'm going for another chilla. His wife go fishing. There's something wrong here. So she said, okay. So she booked his ticket. And he went. And when he got off the plane, his second wife in Morocco was waiting there with flowers. He didn't go for Chilla even to get married. Now what happened? The first wife had booked her ticket on the same flight as well. And she, concealed herself so he can't recognize. And she was at the back on another seat, he was somewhere else. Or he was at the back, she was at the front. And now when he came out and he was embracing his second wife, she came out, hey, achilla my one. Achillo the. He was gobsmacked. Is this chilla? He didn't know what to do. And she said, Amrayna talak de. The return ticket book say, give her divorce. I've booked the return ticket, come with me on the next plane. And finished. So make sure that doesn't happen to you. What should someone do if their spouse is stopping them from fasting? Right? If your husband is stopping you from fasting, question is the fasting faraz or nafal? If it's faraz, don't listen to him. لا طاعة لمخلوق في معصية الخالق. If it's nafil, you have to listen to him. You have to take his permission to fast. If he says don't fast, then don't fast. He might need you during the day and you say I'm fasting. So that's not right. So you have to لا تصوم المرأة إلا بإذن زوجها is in one hadith. We have 2 pages left, but Abdul Hafiz is here to warn us that don't make the food cold. So what's your mashwara?
He texted me 20 minutes ago saying yellow card.
Okay. So isme hai kuch questions, long question about mom passed away, having thoughts about her. But of course when you go through that period of bereavement, it's hard, it's tough, right? You keep getting, kya kehte hain, recurrence and thoughts. But you have to slowly control yourself, right? And inshallah you'll come around. And do isale sawab for her, right? Sadqa, khairat, yasin. And she'll feel bad. Make dua for her, make dua for yourself, and then you'll calm down. If you cry, do they get punishment in there? There is some detail in there. I can't go into that detail. If it's deliberate crying, which includes wailing, lamenting, screaming, then that is wrong. The mayyat could be punished for that. But if it's just tears, then tears are not in our control. Then there's no repercussions on that. They don't get punished. Qazat, namaz masla, we've explained it above. People constantly fight in the house. What can we do? I don't know. Sit down, work among yourselves, be nice, gentle, soft with one another, or avoid fighting. Maulana Hashim Sahib used to say, Jannat Jahannam, make this dunya Jannat, don't make it Jahannam. In Jahannam, people do lanat on one another, abuse one another, curse one another. Why do you make your house Jahannam? Make your house Jannat. Jannat, there is peace, sukoon, friendliness, chilling out. So have a nice life. Make your dunya Jannat. Next question is about Cheetos, but Maulana Sahib gave detailed answer. What to pray for kids who are very agitated without electronics and are lethargic? Maulana Sahib, you give that answer.
I don't know what should we.
Kids are agitated without electronics. Doctor Sahib, kya kahe inko? Electronics, how do you take those electronics away from kids? That's a beautiful answer. Parents have to lead by example. You have to put your mobile away first. If they see you on mobile, they're not going to put their mobile away. So you lead by example. And the soft approach is the best approach. Beta, this is not good for you. Leave it away. Why are you wasting your time? And put restrictions. Beta, if you do this, I'll let you go on the mobile for 20 minutes. And put a timer on there. When the 20 minutes finish, ding, 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 chalo rakh do ho gaya. Right? So you put limits. One of my friends, right, he used to control his kids' electronic games. He would say, if you be nice to your mom, if you go to the school, do your madrasa, do your homework properly, I'll give you 20 minutes allowance in the evening. In weekend, Sunday, I'll give you 1 hour allowance. But if you misbehave, I get complaint, that allowance is gone. So if you set these limits, then there will be discipline in the kids as well. So work your way. The thing is, deal with it with hikmat and wisdom. Use your wisdom. With wisdom, everything gets better. Okay, आगे फिर और भी है. If you are unable to pray salah properly, can we join two salah during traveling on plane, or should we pray seated and then repeat the salah? If it's a case of aeroplane, and let's say Zohar Asar you can combine here, or Maghrib Isha you can combine in Dubai, then we would say, okay, go on, use the Shafi'i mazhab and go on that. But if you were to do the other thing, pray on seat and do qaza, Mufti Tahir Saharanpuri said, pray on seat and then do qaza, right? So you can do both, but I would suggest if you pray on your seat and then qaza is better. But if you have to combine, then you have to abide by the Shafi'i mazhab, do everything that Imam Shafi'i has said, and then you can do jama bain as-salatain. What's the dua to make you lose your weight? Uttari. Ima dua ho ya ochu khawanu? I eat healthy and exercise, but no luck. इसका क्या इलाज डॉक्टर साहब? अच्छा भाई, come and speak to Dr. Zakaria Goga Sahab. He'll tell you how to lose weight. But this person is eating healthy and exercising as well, but no luck. So how to lose weight? Dua. You know the dua, general dua for good health. Allahumma afini fi badani, Allahumma afini fi sam'i, Allahumma afini fi basari, la ilaha illa ant. اللهم إني أسألك الصحة والعفة والأمانة وحسن الخلق والرضا بالقضاء. So صحة is good health. So ask Allah, make this dua. These two duas should be sufficient inshallah. आगे और दो चार क्वेश्चन हैं, लेकिन छोड़ो यार. एक क्वेश्चन किसी ने पूछा था, हम tasawwuf, we talk about tasawwuf, and these Sufis in the afternoon. So where do Sahaba come in there? Did Sahaba used to go through those ascetic things? Were they ascetic? Did they go through this as well? Right? Uska answer ye, of course, Sahaba were the most ascetic people. Ashab-e Suffa. Abu Zar Ghifari, look how Zahid he was. Right? And then these ahwal which Sufiya mentioned about wajd and hal and constantly in a deep state and that. Sahaba had those states, but they didn't show it. When a hal is continuous with you, you don't show it. It's 24 hours with you. But if it happens now and then you scream and you faint and these things happen. But Sahaba had that continuous hal because of the sohbat of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Let's say our mashayikh, our Hazrat, Sheikh Zakaria, right? They were people, man of ascetic nature, Zahid, and constantly in zikr. But they would not scream, they would not show it. So Sahaba are greater than the awliya. So what we hear about the, Wali Raslan's Risala is about to get to that higher stage. How do you get there? But once you get there, like Sahaba were there, then that is another hal. Their tawakkul, their reliance upon Allah is on the next level. So of course, Sahaba had these things more than what we have. This is just a tip of the iceberg. It's to teach you how to get there. Allah पाक हमको भी ये चीज़ें नसीब करे. अल्लाहुम्मा लकल हम्दु व लकल शुक्र. अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद अन्नबीय्यिल उम्मी व अला आलिहि व सहाबिहि वसल्लम तस्लीमा. या अरहमर राहिमीन, हमारे यहाँ उठना बैठना, अल्लाह पढ़ना पढ़ाना सुनना सुनाना कबूल फरमाइए, हमसे राज़ी हो जाइए. इन जवानों को जो बातें कही गई उससे खूब नफ़ा पहुँचाइए, और दिल व दिमाग में जो क्वेश्चन हैं, सवालात हैं, या अल्लाह उनको अच्छी तरह जहन साफ़ करा दीजिए और उस पर अमल करने की तौफ़ीक़ अता फरमाइए. और सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम अला सय्यिदिना मुहम्मद व आलिहि व सहबिहि अजमईन.